friends, Greg Hudson here, and ABR is in Paw Paw, Michigan, baby. Now that's halfway between Chicago and Detroit, and we're at a place that is a legacy restaurant in this town. 3 generations in the making, dating back to 1936, and they're still using those same recipes just like Nona used to use. So come on in and let's mangia at La Cantina Ristorante Italiano.
Hey, Greg.
Tony, what's up, man?
How you doing, man?
Fantastic.
Good to see you. Find it all right?
I did. Great to see you.
Nice seeing you. I'm happy to have you here.
I'm grateful to be here. I mean, first of all, I love walking into the wine shop, but this already, we're not even, by the way, this is just where you walk in where the wine is stored. But I already have this just old school classic Italian vibe going. There's got to be something to that,
Perfect.
right?
3 generations here. My brother, my sister, and myself are now here. My mom is still living, 99 years old,
Hey.
and we're still doing this thing. You know, we like it. It's a part of our life.
So 3 generations. So that would be what, your grandfather started this place?
In 1936, my grandma and grandpa started this restaurant and did a great job. I mean, my grandma could cook like crazy, and my mom and my aunt, they learned from her. My brother learned from them. So we're still making the same old stuff.
Handed down, passed through generations. Yeah, exactly. Well, that was my next question. So when it comes to the food, can we still expect those old school recipe classics? Have you tweaked some things? What's the story here, modern times?
You know, I'm not that old a guy, but we have people coming in here saying, oh, I haven't been here for years, and the food still tastes the same. So it's like, great, That's what we strive for, that the classic recipes are still like they used to be forever and ever. So,
and the thing about that is, that holds true when you've been around as long as you guys have. Some places over time change recipes, tweak things here and there, but in a community like Paw Paw, and as you mentioned, people that have been coming here for generations, like maintaining that taste of yesteryear, you got to do that for those folks. And not to mention, it must be damn good if you've been around this long, right?
I like it. It's just like I ate at home. I grew up on this food, and it still tastes the same. Yeah, so I mean, it's good stuff.
I'll tell you what, I would love to get in the kitchen and see what's going on in there. Would that be all right?
Well, let's go into the kitchen. We'll take you into Emilio.
Love that.
All right.
We'll see you in the kitchen, everybody.
All right.
Oh man, it's packed out there, but luckily we found just a little break to get back here with Chef Jeff, who's going to be putting together for us the chicken La Cantina?
Chicken La Cantina.
What's that consist of, Chef?
Chicken La Cantina consists of a breaded chicken breast that's seared in canola oil, and then we add onions, peppers, mushrooms, and La Cantina red wine vinegar, reduce that down to a glaze. It's a spin-off from the chicken cacciatore from his grandmother's recipe.
Got you. And that red wine vinegar, that's like a staple of the restaurant. I mean, that's out on every table.
Right.
That dates back years, and it's something you guys even sell by the bottle. So a really important sauce, I would think.
Right. It's a family recipe. It's been here since the restaurant's been here, of course. You can buy it out in the store, and you can buy it in some of the local grocery stores.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's get going here, Chef.
Okay.
You show us what to do.
So we got chicken breast here, salt and pepper on both sides, some seasoned breadcrumbs. Dredge it in there, shake off the excess. It's very lightly breaded. Canola oil in the pan, and get that searing.
Beautiful.
Get rid of that, wipe down. Even though the chicken wasn't on the cutting board, we try to keep everything sanitized so we don't have any cross-contamination problems.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this kitchen, man, is just an absolute machine.
Yeah.
The way you guys operate in here.
Yeah. And so here is a clam dish I got to finish up real quick.
Look at that. I love this because you got Chef's doing our segment here, but they're so busy. He's like spinning plates in the air with sticks over here. He's doing different sauces. This is what I think is cool too.
Right here.
And so, Chef, with each of these dishes, you're making these like sauces to order, right?
Yes, sir.
There's no
yes,
big
sir.
batch of sauce that you're just dumping on something. Every dish.
The only sauces that we have pre-made is the marinara and the meat sauce, and those are also family recipes that are come down over the years, and the pizza sauce. Everything else is done, as they say, a la menu, to order.
That is crazy.
And so we get a nice brown on there.
Oh, that's gorgeous. And I love that it's just very lightly breaded.
Right.
You get a lot of
Right, because it keeps it from being such a heavy dish, and then in the summertime it sells well because it's something different. Even though it's been around and it's a staple, everybody loves it. And then we come in here, we have our fresh cut vegetables that we cut every morning. A little bit of peppers and onions, some button mushrooms.
Beautiful.
And then we let that saute a little bit.
Oh, and you're leaving the chicken in there with those veggies
Yes,
to
sir.
really add that flavor and let those
Yes, sir.
come together.
And that way when the red wine vinegar reduces everything, it's got a layer of flavors because we sear the vegetables so that keeps their integrity.
Yes.
And then once we put the vinegar in, it just deglazes everything and starts the sauce. And then we just let that reduce down to a glaze.
Beautiful.
And like you said, we are kind of busy right now, so
Yeah, you're throwing
I'm
stuff.
gonna keep going. So right here, I'm gonna make a rigatoni E, which is another fan favorite. And that gets mushrooms, our caramelized onions, roasted chicken, salt, pepper, and then we deglaze that with Marsala wine.
Oh, wow.
And we get quite a bit in there because that's actually gonna flavor the sauce. It's a Marsala cream sauce when it finishes.
Love that.
So we deglaze that, let it flame off, and we'll let that reduce all the way out. And then we'll add the cream and fresh basil and finish that dish.
Excellent.
So
All right.
chicken Alfredo's done, rigatoni E's done. Swing that over. Pasta Emilio will go on this pan. Pasta Emilio is a really interesting dish. It has a little bit of everything in it. And so we start with olive oil, a pretty decent amount. And then we crisp up some fresh prosciutto in
I
it.
thought that's what that was.
And this actually flavors the olive oil.
Sure.
It gives the dish a little bit more continuity. A little bit of sausage. We get that going. And we'll actually let this crisp up, and then we'll add our vegetables and artichoke hearts and things like that. And it gets finished with pesto.
Love that.
Yep.
So chef's gonna get these dishes going. After that, we're gonna plate our chicken, La Cantina, and give that bad boy a taste right here in the kitchen.
All right. It's nice and glazed. Plate that.
Oh, look at that. Oh, and I love the way that those veg just
Top of the
absorb
veg.
that sauce. You can tell by the color. Oh yeah, give me a little juice there, chef. Yeah,
That's
love
the
it.
love in it. And then it gets served with pasta marinara.
I am not mad at that. Again, more scratch-made sauces, home-cooked
Yes, sir.
recipes. That is what
That
you
plate
love.
there is true. That dish right there is truly a homemade dish because everything is brought by their family and all their recipes. And this is a signature dish for the restaurant.
So this is as home-cooked as it gets at La
As
Cantina.
home.
Old-school recipes.
Yes, sir.
Well, let's go. I'm going to grab
Absolutely.
a fork and dig into this bad
Hey, can I get a fork?
Oh, chef. I'm just gonna taste this. Chef's busy over here, man. I don't care. I gotta try this. Oh, baby.
And it'll have a lot of layers of flavor to it.
Wow. That is gorgeous.
Nice. That's a very popular dish.
All of those flavors marry together perfectly.
Yes, sir.
I don't know how else to put that. I mean, the veg right away, the vegetable right away punches you. And there's a little sweetness to that vinegar now that it's reduced.
Right.
You get some sweetness with it, which I love.
Yep.
And just enough breading on that chicken.
We even
Just a little bit of breading, that's what you need.
Yep. We even use that vinegar. We reduce it and use it for different appetizers. We drizzle it on.
I was gonna say
Yep.
that's such a versatile vinegar, chef. And really, it's 2 sauces in one, because when you reduce that, this has a more concentrated flavor when it's reduced, and it's almost like a totally separate sauce you got going.
Exactly. And actually, the dish that you guys had earlier, the sausage and peppers, that's the same sauce.
Really?
You have to reduce red wine vinegar.
Yeah, that is a versatile sauce, chef.
Yes.
We gotta try spaghetti. Home run, chef. Fantastic, brother.
Yep.
I know you're busy. I'm gonna take this out there. And apparently, it's an Italian joint. They do ribs here. And a very unique pizza, which we're gonna try as well.
Hi, I'm Tracy. I've been coming here to La Cantina's since 1968. I would come with my family, and we've always had great food and great service, and it's always just been very nice and friendly.
So I'm Becky Green, and I have been coming to La Cantina for over 20 years. I used to work here for about 20 years. We were just figuring it out earlier. And great family to work for. Norma and Emilio, Tony, Ava, all of them are absolutely phenomenal. It's such a family-friendly atmosphere. We come, we have dinner. We always say hi to the family. They're always coming and giving us stuff and just happy to be, around. And the food is phenomenal. Probably the best Italian restaurant around. And I've worked here, so I know how it's made. It's all made fresh. Probably my favorite dish is pasta Emilio.
So we finally got a hold of the owners to come out and sit with us. As you can see, it is packed here. Absolutely slammed. So this is Ava and Emilio. And thank you guys for taking some time to come out and chat with us.
Thank you for being here. We're sure enjoying it.
This has been
It's been
great.
a great night.
And I've got to tell you, although you probably already know this, walking around and speaking to a lot of the guests that are here, I mean, you keep hearing, oh, I've been coming here since the 60s. I used to work here. My grandfather used to work here. I mean, this is, I've said it over and over, but just a legacy restaurant. But not only for you guys, as it's gone down generations, it's a legacy from the guest perspective.
Yeah.
We're getting guests that have been coming for a while.
We've had generations. People every night tell me that they remember my grandma, remember my grandpa sitting there. The grandkids are coming now.
The great-grandkids.
Grandkids. It's been a destination restaurant in this Southwest Michigan for many years, since 1936.
Can totally see why. Well, let's get to this stuff, because this is staring me in the face. And Emilio, you were telling me about the pizza and how unique this is, right?
The best thing about our pizza is the crust and the sauce and the cheese.
So all of it, basically. Now, the best thing is the crust, the sauce, and the cheese. That's the whole pizza, brother.
We have sausage, we have pepperoni, we have mushrooms, we have all the other toppings. But those 3 things are the key to what makes our pizza really different.
All right.
The crust is my grandmother's recipe. The sauce is my grandmother's recipe. And the cheese comes from the Chicago area. It's twice as expensive as what we can purchase from our local distributors, but we will not deviate. This is the cheese that makes our pizza.
That's what gives it that unique flavor profile.
The business that we buy it from is just as old as this, a little older than this business.
Yeah.
So still going. Italian owned, it's key. So
and just to recap here, so this entire pizza is the same recipe that's gone back generations then.
That
Yes.
our grandma started.
And what type of cheese is it? Is it a mozzarella?
it's mozzarella,
but it's a very high quality mozzarella.
It's high quality. It's artisanal, and it was artisanal before they even used to call it. Before they started calling
before
it.
the word was artisanal.
Exactly. It's just good old school mozzarella, and the way it melts.
That is incredibly unique. And something you just said, the way it melts, but it also maintains the texture.
Right.
It stays firm.
Yeah. And you know what else I love about this? And here's how I can tell you this is high quality. There's not a bunch of oil running down from the cheese.
Right.
You know what I mean? Sometimes you get a pizza, you know what I'm talking about? It gets greasy and there's oil that when the
Yeah.
cheese melts, that oil releases from it. This has none of that because the cheese is of such quality.
And we also put our toppings underneath the cheese. A lot of people dress their pizzas on top. We've always kept it underneath.
Well, you know what? It's funny you mentioned that because I thought we were having a cheese pizza. Then I got this explosion. I think I have some sausage in there. I got an olive in there.
It's just kind of the way my grandma and grandpa just decided it should be done.
And you know, some of those ingredients like the sausage, it's hand pinched sausage. Okay, it's raw. It goes on the pizza. You know, we make little balls with from another Italian company in Chicago because they know how to do it. And that's the one thing why we still have all of this
with sourcing of the original kind.
Well, it's quality and consistency, and that's what we go for. And the people that we buy from, that's their motto too. And right down to the tomatoes that we make our sauce come from California, from an Italian family. It's fresh packed tomatoes.
Yeah, it is.
It's and we won't deviate. We will not. You know, weekly someone wants to come and sell us tomatoes. It's like
no way.
You can't beat their quality. It's a great product.
Well, there's two things I'll say about that. First of all, that I think if you did change the recipe, you'd have a lot of unhappy people because people have been coming for generations. They know what this is supposed to taste like.
And that's what
they would be upset. Second of all, I'm starting to think that Emilio is in like some sort of culinary Italian mafia, like some culinary where they all trade like really high quality Italian ingredients to one another. Because I mean, you are so precise on the ingredients that you're using for this. You can tell me exactly where it comes from, who it comes from, and it's an Italian family that's been around for 100 years.
And been to their facilities.
Really?
And we will not deviate. It's just because why? Why should we?
No way. You shouldn't.
You know, it might cost us a little bit more, but it's worth it.
And that's another thing too. In this day and age, we've all seen what's happened to food prices, you know, over the past year or two. So the fact that you are not cutting any corners regardless, just says so much about the integrity of that kitchen and what you're putting out.
And that's what maintains.
Yeah, that's why they come for 3 generations. So, all right, an Italian joint, but you got some ribs here.
Well,
what's going on with those?
Are you sure where the ribs? I'm not sure how we started serving ribs.
I'm not sure how we started serving the ribs either, but it must have been something popular.
It worked, whatever it was.
My grandfather started them way back when way before we were born. Maybe it was because they had local farmers that had them.
Yeah, all right.
But my grandma came up with this special sauce. It's not smoky, it's not mesquite, it's not barbecue. It's her own sweet special sauce, and it made a hit. And we have been serving the barbecue baby back ribs for at least 60 years.
Whoa!
Or more.
60 years?
Yes.
And this is Grandma's recipe for the sauce?
Grandma's recipe for the sauce.
Going all the way back.
People are very critical of it. If one of the cooks puts too much pepper or too much of the spice, we hear about it. They want that exact recipe to come out perfect every time. Which
you like that?
We have measurements, so we do.
You like to see that?
We like to see
and
it.
I can tell you too. Speaking of that sauce and the fact that people know what you're telling me is you guys make this fresh in house.
Yes.
And what I was really impressed with, we're watching Chef back there. We're in the kitchen, and I was blown away by the fact that you guys are making sauces to order. So it's not like you have a big batch of some of the sauces like the Marsala sauce or anything. No, it's every time someone orders that pasta, that sauce gets made right in for that dish.
And that's how he likes to do it. Chef likes to do it that way.
Yeah. And that's another
this size. That's unheard of.
But he can do it, and that's what we're so blessed about. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna get some ribs. You guys give them me here.
I think I might have a little bit of a
I
pizza.
might have a little piece of pizza.
All right, Grandma's sauce. Going back over 60 years. All right, Nona, here we go. That's very unique. I don't even...
It's just real sweet.
It is, but there are other elements to it. Like, I don't know that I could sit here and call it barbecue sauce. It's its own entity. It's in its own category. I see the barbecue aspect of it, but there are so many other... you know what it is? There's a tanginess to it. There's a real tanginess there that you don't expect or you don't get with barbecue sauces.
Yes. When
no matter what
kind. The vat, you just get that whip it goes out into the parking lot, and you get that tang right up your nose.
Ooh, I'm getting a little heat on the back end too, back of my palate right there.
But again, that's never deviated. It's been the same recipe ever since. So,
You know what also about these ribs? I've seen it maybe a handful of times, but it's something you just don't see anymore. Ribs like this are what I would call old school supper club ribs. Like, you know, where I live, there's a restaurant and they specialize in like, if you can call it this, yeah, like fine dining ribs, if that's a thing. This has that sort of appeal to it. It's not your traditional, you know, backyard barbecue smoker ribs. These are elegant, elevated supper club ribs in my book.
oh wow.
These are fantastic.
They're very popular, and people are surprised to find them here on the
Exactly.
menu. But once they do, there are people that have come here that have never ordered anything but the ribs
And
or
that's the thing.
but the chicken or something.
It's like once you try it, you get it. Then it makes sense. But I totally understand. I was thinking that too. I'm like, well, an Italian joint, I put some big slab of ribs on the table. I'm like, what?
People are surprised that they're on the menu. It's like, wow, they got ribs here?
Yeah.
And then they thinking it's the smokehouse rib or something
Right.
like that.
No, this is
Not
an
at all.
elegant.
And they're like,
elevated
wow,
rib.
that's interesting. Hey, you love them.
So we talked about the history here and how long you guys have been around. The town of Paw Paw loves you guys. I mean, that's evident by what we've seen. What's the direction going forward? Just continue with these classics, making the community happy, and just keep doing what you're doing.
I think so. I think we're going to maintain what we've got. Of course, we're lucky to have Jeff, the chef, who does come up with new things and, you know, specials on the weekends where people can try something different.
Sure.
I think we found a niche, and it's best to stay with that niche because people know what to expect and why they come here. And if they come here and we say, "Oh my God, we're out of ribs tonight," ruins the whole
They have a
thing.
fit.
They have a fit.
I like-
So I think we need to keep that.
I agree, and I like that you say that. And I'm sure that's something you knew already, but I want you to understand, when people are coming here for 3 generations for this long, they come in because they know what they're getting, they know the quality they're getting, and they know what this stuff is supposed to taste like. And continuing that legacy for this long is just impressive. And I gotta tell you, I mean, it's unique anywhere in the country, let alone a town of this size.
Well, thanks. We just grew up, and this is what we know as our family food.
You
so-
know it pretty well.
Yeah.
You know it pretty well. Well, where can people find you online then? Because you guys, I'm telling you, if you're coming down 94 across Michigan, Paw Paw's right there. They gotta stop for lunch or dinner.
LaCantinaPawPaw.com. Pretty simple.
Yeah.
And on Facebook, La Cantina Paw Paw on Facebook. So
Beautiful.
try to make it
Exit
as
60,
simple.
by 94.
It's right there.
So we're halfway between Chicago and Detroit. Right.
Well, that's the play right there.
Yeah, right in the middle. It's a great stopping point.
Right in the middle.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's
Cute
an easy
little
trip
town.
in.
Got the water right there. Great
We have
food.
wineries. People come for the wine tour. We're on the wine road.
Yeah, we saw this
Stop.
right up the
Yeah.
street. So
Yes.
stop in for
Make a
wine.
day of it. In the summertime, the patios are open.
Lakes.
The lake is right there. We're right on the water, so we have music.
That's great.
Yeah,
Perfect
lots
for
of
the
good
summertime
wine.
break. A nice break in the summertime, then drive from Chicago to Detroit or vice
Yeah.
versa. Definitely a place to
And
stop.
yeah, and, you know, we're a full service restaurant. We have the Italian, but we have steaks. We have fresh fish. You know,
Oh, I saw some steaks being made back there.
Yeah.
I was highly impressed.
so we have something for everyone. You
Yeah.
know, for the
We're
it's
also lucky enough that the restaurant is large enough that we can serve small weddings, wedding rehearsals, graduation parties. People can gather in big groups. because we have the
That's
space.
where it's at. Especially if
Yeah.
you got people in Detroit and Chicago, just meet here for that.
Yeah,
That's
a lot
great.
of people do for family reunions. So
Well, listen, also, as you know, you can find them on a listing on americasbestrestaurants.com, their full listing, as well as on our Facebook page. But I got to tell you, this has been an incredible day, and I really appreciate you sharing this legacy restaurant with us at ABR.
well, thank you. We're
Thank
very
you.
grateful that you came and you met our customers. You saw
Met our family.
met our family,
And it does have that family atmosphere.
we've enjoyed having you here, and we're very honored.
Well, so are we, and I'm grateful for this. So, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, and share, and keep it locked in right here for all things food as we travel the country one bite at a time. We'll see you next time on America's Best Restaurants.
Thank you.